What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Maverick here, and right now we're going to be watching Fire Force episode 15. So, with the end of last episode, I assume that we've also ended an arc here, right? And so what we got out of it was that the 8th and the 7th are now on good terms with each other. We've learned a little bit more in regards to the White Cloaks or whatnot, but beyond that, not really much else, right? They've lost their current lead, which is the event that happened a few years ago, the fire that happened a few years ago, and that is that. So really, I'm not sure where they are going to continue with this episode. I guess let's just get into it to find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. Ooh, this is a different opening. I mean, contrary to usual anyways. Really? We're getting some actual backstory now. Huh. And so that's how the church came to be and how the Tokyo Empire came to be? Ah, Shinra's brother. Commando unit. Knights of the Ashen Flame. Shouboutai. Hey, is this the guy that was talking with Joker, right? Yeah. Victor Lick. Lihito. Normal person. Is this a new opening? Oh yeah. Alright, let's watch this. Although, it will be muted for you guys. Really rock heavy. Ooh. Cold Rain? I've never heard of this group. Is this actually? Reminds me of early 90s metal. What? He's corporate.
その優秀なお前がなんでしょぼい第八なんかに入隊するんだ。もともと拝島では研究所に一人こもりっきりだったもので、より現場に近い組織の中で生の情報を手に入れたいと思ったんです。問題があったら飛ばせばいい。仲間に入れてくださいよ。見たところ科学班どころか機関員すらいないみたいじゃないですか。
Yep.
今誰が車の整備とかやってるんすか？機械周り適当だと後で困りますよ。機関員には当てがある。中隊長、例の彼と連絡はついたのか？いえ、バルカンとはまだ。
Vogue.
お前らあいつを機関員に入れようとしているのか？誰ですか？拝島に特殊消防隊。これまで奴へのスカウトはすべて門前払いされ。
Okay, so this is like a recruiting episode.
炎と火事の神の名に恥じぬ凄腕の持ち主だ。
God of fire and fire.
近いうちに直接彼の工房に伺いましょうか。私はおすすめしないな。奴は拝島が嫌いで、拝島が大きく関わる特殊消防隊も嫌いらしい。追い返されるのがオチだ。死んだアーサーとシスターと一緒にバルカンの工房に向かってくれないか。彼が第八にふさわしい人間か確認してきてほしい。
Is Victor going to go as well?
お前たちはバルカンと年も近い。あまり気負わず素直な感覚で判断してくれ。了解。あまり堅苦しくないように私服で言った方がいい。こっちの身分は隠さなくて構わない。騙すことにならないように注意してくれ。相手が相手だ。挨拶だけでもできれば上出来だろう。合点承知です。他の連中が金や身分で解決しようとしたことをガキどもで説得とは。バルカンの消防隊嫌いは折り紙付きだ。雑誌になるぞ。俺たちはこの国を変えようとしているんです。まずは行動あるのみ。
And they just ignored Victor's case. Ah, nice. It's them in their regular clothes. Especially the sister as well. He's gonna throw more. Okay. So this guy is actually Victor, right? Oh, Shinra got to first class now. Oh, no. Never mind. I was wrong. Whoops. Huh. I wasn't paying attention to the actual opening animation. I was paying more attention to the song, so. Oh, actually, never mind. I saw him before. He was sitting beside, Oh, sorry, I mean, he was sitting beside Victor. This is Vulcan. Oh! Two in the same time? うん。Indeed.
だから灰島や消防隊などの組織からたくさんスカウトが来るんです。けれどバルカンは片っ端から突っぱねてしまう。結果それを面白く思わなかった灰島の根回しにより、今では業者からバルカンへの資材の供給が全て止められてしまいました。
Yeah.
それで僕があちこちのジャンク屋から資材を集めるようになったんです。灰島が嫌いになるわけだ。でもバルカンの灰島や消防官嫌いには他にも何か理由があるみたいなんです。第8は他の消防隊とは違う。俺が保証する。だからバルカンに話を聞いてもらうだけでも頼めないか。消防隊の人なのにどこか今までの人たちとは違いますね。わかりました。
And, well, how... He literally only told you that. Never mind, never mind.
いいのか勝手に入って。バルカンには怒られるかもしれないですけど。ってこれ機械だったのか。無回転だと。もう一台。
No,
こちらバルカンさんと暮らしているリサさんです。
Lisa, son.
おいユウ、特殊消防隊を中に入れてんじゃねえよ。痛いです。
Okay.
すげえスピードで組んでくな。ドラマでも叩いてるみたいだ。しゃあできた。せっかくできたものをなんで蹴ってんだよ。壊れんだろ。こんなんで壊れるようなマシンは不良品と変わらねえ。つか
Built to last.
できてんだ。まあまあまあ。おいユウ、何やってんだ。来客だ。じゃあ持ってこいよ。はい。おう。
No, they're for throwing.
話くらい聞いてくれよ。消防官のたわごとは散々聞いてきた。今さら聞くことなんてない。アホ。バル、またあいつだ。わかった。一人で大丈夫か。問題ねえよ。
Hmm? Oh, okay. Actual captain here.
大隊長。第3は灰島の息がかかった隊だ。灰島にバルカンを取られちまう。でもそんなところにいてはバルカンの夢は叶えられません。
And his dream is?
その後、仕事はうまくいっているか。動物好きは子供の頃からだったな。
汚ねえまねしやがって。俺の工房への資材供給ラインを止めたのもお前だろ。
設計図だけでは物は作れないと分かったか。いつま
Hmm. Okay.
何の話だ。この裏切り者が。残念だ。せっかくの才能もこんなスクラップ上にいたら失われてしまうな。未だにこの世の動物をどうとか言ってるのか。
Carrying the world's animals.
くだらん夢だ。金と権力のために出て行ったお前が人の夢を笑ってんじゃねえ。その腕と
So, has most of the wildlife been killed off
救われるのだ。
in this current world?
お前の夢など口頭無形で笑いも起きんよ。
Hmm.
まだいたのか、クソ消防。灰島が圧力をかけてきたのか。てめえらには関係ねえだろ。関係あるよ。第8は他の消防隊の内部調査をするために結成された部隊だ。組織のしがらみにとらわれた隊とは違う。
Should you
純粋に人を
really talk about this
バルカン
so openly?
になりたいんだ。なんだいきなり。すまん。変なとこ触ったら変なんなった。変なとこは触るなよ。真面目に話してるときに。
これ何ですか？
ダメだ。それ絶対押すな。なんでだよ。なあ、これ足りねえんだけど。持ってる。
Well, I guess that's one way to defuse the situation.
だからそれもダメだって。
ポチッとな。これは何ですか？
これはダメだ。
いません。
なんだ無茶。
And that's enough to convince him?
お前ら何の収穫もなく帰るわけにはいかないんだろ。今からここに来た甲斐があるいいもん見せてやるから、それでおとなしく帰ってくれ。いいもの？僕も久しぶりに見たいです。なあ、こいつも持ってけばいいのか。置いていけよ。これでよし。
Is
バルカンが作ったのか？子供の頃、じいさんと親父と一緒に作ったんだ。ああ、見てなって。
fireworks?
そもそも俺が作りたいのはただの機械じゃないんだよ。
Oh, hologram. Hmm. Wildlife, fish and stuff. No, that doesn't exist now? In this world?
知ってるか？この世界には昔175万種以上の動物がいたんだ。すげえ。
これは
Yeah, not just water-based, land-based as well.
これは渡り鳥だ。かつてはあちこちの大陸を飛び回っていたんだが、今はもう帰れる場所がなくなっちまった。
何でしょう。すごく涙が止まりません。
アマテラスは広告の人間分のエネルギーしか賄えない。だから世界全体を再生できるアマテラス以上のエネルギー源を作り出し、絶滅した動物をこの世界に復活させる。
Why do wild animals need an energy source?
自分以外の命のために技術を使える人間。
Nature relies on the sun.
オービ大隊長、バルカンは第8にふさわしい男です。 何回見てもいいものですね。シンナさんたちはどうでした？
私、感動しました。
やばい。なあバルカン、お前もきっと第8を気に入る。一度でいいからうちの大隊長と会ってみてくれないか。いや、なんと言われようが灰島の息がかかった連中とつるむ気はない。
悪い。あんたシスターだったの？あ、いえ。私は出だしたんだ。けれど、雨をしのぐ場を失い、このスクラップ場で寝泊まりしていたら、バルカンに拾われた。優しい方ですね。じいよ、おかしいくらい。
人の面倒がどれだけ増えようと、バルカンはその分自分が倍働けばいいと思ってるんです。この墓はバルカンの祖父と父親のお墓です。二人は同時にホムラ人になったと聞いています。
うん
それってよくあることなんですか？バルカンはジョバンニを疑っているようですが。なんでジョバンニが怪しいと？バルカンの祖父には二人のお弟子さんがいたんです。一人はバルカンの父、もう一人がジョバンニ。
Really? Okay.
二人が不自然な死を遂げた直後、ジョバンニは灰島に入社したんです。それは死に厳しく禁じられていたことだそうで。禁じられてた？バルカンの一族はずっと灰島との間に因縁を持っているようなんです。
Mm-hmm.
そろそろバルの飯を作ってやらないと。お前らも悪いが諦めて帰ってくれ。
お役に立てずすみません。そう言わずに。
潮時だ。バルカンを殺せ。
またあの時と同じ感覚。
What?
この前はコンロ中隊長の救いの叫び、今回はドクター・ジョバンニの殺意。
Okay.
勧誘は無理そうだ。一旦第八に戻った方がいいかもな。ここから離れられなくなった。ヒーローの直感だ。
Heroes intuition. Alright. What? Oh, a new ending song as well? Sweet. Damn, that is one eerie looking. That should be the nerve system? Now, personally, I'm still much more familiar with this kind of J-rock. Lenny Code Fiction. Now, this I've actually heard of before. I think I still prefer the last ending song and opening as well, actually. Ah, there we go. The two brothers. Alrighty, so it seems that we're getting more into the actual story now. You know, what with Giovanni, and then Vulcan, and then this sort of backstory in regards to him, what happens with Hajima Industries, who is behind all this. You know, I do like that this is something that we're starting to get, although it's, you know, already 15 episodes into the series and whatnot. And we even get a little bit of hint of what other things are happening around the world, right? We know that some things happened, so a lot of humanity was forced into gathering together into some key positions. In this case, for Japan, which they are in, all the people gathered into Greater Tokyo and to form the Imperial Tokyo Empire, I believe, which also consists of other people rather than just Japanese as well, right? That's something that I've been trying to make a point on in regards to their names that we've seen so far. So I think that this might take you know, this might play into the bigger backstory in regards to all this. Maybe some discontent within the empire because of these sort of clashing cultures and whatnot. Although that remains to be seen, right? I've yet to see everything I'm talking about here in regards to culture clash and to different people coming together, this is more of my interpretation of the situation in regards to what I've seen so far within the anime and in regards to the names of these characters. Is that going to be true? Is this series going to go down that direction? I don't really know. So far, it's not shown much of that yet, but I suspect that we'll know more once we learn about this backstory as well. And we also get this information that the wildlife is gone from this world, right? So I don't know, did they mention this before? I don't think they specifically mentioned wildlife before, and definitely we saw some wildlife, I believe some birds, I believe early on in the episode, like literally in the first 3 episodes or something. But yeah, it seems that a lot of the wildlife has been wiped off the planet and has gone extinct, right? Now, here's the thing. I don't really get what Vulcan is saying here. Like, why does he need... Like, what does an energy source have to do with wildlife, right? Nature gets its energy from the sun. The entire cycle of life here starts with the sun, and then we have the sea, and then all that, the plants, the animals, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't really rely on any man-made power, right? Now, the thing here is, I'm thinking perhaps it's a case that, the current environment, as we see, in regards to the Fire Force soldiers and all that, maybe this is sort of an artificial environment, because we can clearly see that there's grass and trees and all that around here, right? So it would, it'd be really weird to say, okay, so how come they can grow here and not elsewhere, right? Is this a case of some sort of like is the infernalization or whatnot similar to like nuclear radiation, and so it needs to be cleaned up? Do they need power to fertilize the soil in some sort of way to create artificial soil, artificial nutrients? Which would be really weird considering that the sun is still there, and so this basic cycle of life should still be plausible. So unless there's something that's sort of actively poisoning the dirt or whatnot around here, or so on and so forth, really hard to say why he would need an energy source to bring back wildlife, right? And if you were to get even a little bit more pedantic about this, you can't really bring back extinct animals, right? If they've gone extinct, no matter how much power you put in, you're not going to bring them back, right? If the whales has gone extinct, well, sorry, they're extinct, right? Unless you somehow, gotten your hands on, I don't know, cloning technology or DNA manipulation or something like that, right? And I feel like another point I do want to sort of touch on is that at the very beginning of the episode, we see the sort of backstory here, right? So one day suddenly flames are bursting forth and whatnot, so on and so forth. But we see it in a modern day setting. We see high-rise buildings and whatnot. And within what we see here right now, though, it seems that after using the new calendar, something like 70 years or so have passed by. So it's essentially, if we were using our normal, calendar system, it might be something like 2090, 2000, or even 2100, right? It might even be the 22nd century in the anime right now. So perhaps humans, they've been trying to rebuild everything, but they've never really progressed further along their technology. I don't know if that's the case, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure on the sort of, the sort of calendar system that they're using, and does that really have a one-to-one correlation or whatnot. I'm just inferring that it seems that these flames started out sometime in our modern age, so at least after 2000s, right? And so you add that and say, okay, so after that event happened, the Tokyo Empire was set up, and they adopted a new calendar system. It would go to say that, the same amount of time has passed by, and so that's how I arrive at that number. Beyond that, so Victor, right? The thing with Victor here is I kind of have this sneaking suspicion that he's not actually working with Hajime Industries, right? So we clearly see that he has some ulterior motives to joining the 8th, but considering that he was affiliated with Joker, I don't believe those two are part of the, they're working for the Empire or working for Hajime Industries. But on that note, I don't entirely believe that they are working for the knights as well, right? The Ashen Flame Knights. So not really sure here. Perhaps he's going to be part of a third a third party, a third force. Not maybe necessarily on the side of heroism and justice, but maybe not the same as the knights or as the corporate empire/empire interest either, right? So it'll be interesting to see what his character develops into. And speaking of knights, so we got Sho, right? And obviously, Sho and Shinra are going to come to be fighting sometime soon and whatnot. We can clearly see that in the opening as well. Not really much to touch on there, although one thing that I did find kind of amusing is that the voice of Sho is actually Sakamoto Maya-san, or as most fans call her, Maya-san. So it's actually a lady doing his voice. So, and a very well-known and well-respected seiyuu as well, a seiyuu singer. But anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting to bring up. And also, another thing that I'm really looking forward to watching is when Offer eventually meets these knights, right? And he's gonna be like, oh, I am the embodiment of the knight spirit. And then the other side is like, what in the world are you talking about, right? So, looking forward to that part. So, I think that's about it for Fire Force episode 15. Let me know if I missed anything or I've said some incorrect things that have already been mentioned within the anime. Or maybe it's not been mentioned, but it should be, in a sense. But of course, don't try to refrain from spoiling the entire story, right? So, counting on you guys. And that's that. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.